Gita, and this is Swamp Watch. And a little bit of action in Congress over the last couple days. So let's recap. Yesterday, there were 5 bills that passed in the House. Now, 3 of those passed with broad bipartisan support. The Loan Agent Oversight Act would require a report on defaults and fraud in the primary loan program for small businesses. A second bill that passed with bipartisan support was called Connecting Small Businesses with Career and Technical Education Graduates Act of 2025. And the House also passed the Support for Patients and Communities Reauthorization Act of 2025, which reauthorizes certain programs that provide for treatment of opioid abuse. 2 other bills passed, but the House was divided along party lines. CEASE Act, CEASE. What that does is it limits the number of non-bank lenders who can provide government-backed loans to small businesses that are new or in underserved areas. And the justification for limiting that number is to make it a small enough number that the Small Business Administration can easily oversee them. The bill that passed but was split along party lines was Save the Small Business Administration from Sanctuary Cities Act. It directs Small Business Administration offices to relocate away from cities that the federal government deems sanctuary cities. There are 5 bills that are scheduled for votes today in the House. Those are the Protecting Our Nation's Capital Emergency Act, which modifies disciplinary procedures for the Washington, D.C. police force. It strikes a ban on collective bargaining on matters of police discipline, and it also decreases the statute of limitations for when the public can sue the D.C. police force. So are voting on a law to repeal the Local Resident Voting Rights Amendment Act of 2022, in which Washington, D.C. allowed non-citizens in the D.C. area to vote in local elections and ballot initiatives, so local only, not national. The HALT Fentanyl Act, which passed in the Senate and is now coming to the House for a vote tonight, adds fentanyl-related substances to the list of Schedule I controlled substances and increases the penalty for distribution of those fentanyl and fentanyl-related substances. District of Columbia Federal Immigration Compliance Act directs Washington, D.C. government officials to comply with all federal officials' attempts to identify and apprehend people who are in the country illegally. And finally, there's a vote on the rescissions bill, which would claw back or rescind $9.4 billion in funding that Congress has already allocated. So it will allow the government to choose not to spend that money, even though Congress already authorized it. $8.3 billion that would come from the State Department and the U.S. Agency for International Development. And the other areas that would lose funding are NPR and PBS, the AIDS Relief Institute, and the U.S. Institute of Peace.